In 2006, I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. I had experienced symptoms for a number of years, but I was unaware that they had any significance. My wife, Terry, had seen the changes in me for quite a while, but I denied that there was anything wrong. Some of the symptoms were sagging facial muscles, which led to people thinking that I was either sad or angry. I began to talk very softly, and my speech and movement became very slow. My right foot would drag, so that I would often trip. My sense of balance was impaired. Terry would comment that I was not standing straight, but I felt as though I were. People in my congregation began to be aware that something was wrong. I finally began to seek medical help. Finding the proper medicines, which would help control the symptoms, took almost a year. I was fortunate that during the year I was introduced to Ingrid Pretzer-Aboff, a nurse who was working on her Ph.D. and was conducting a study on Parkinson's. The questions that she asked me helped me to see that although PD had affected my life, there was much that I could do to help improve the quality of my life. My attitude would be an important component of my treatment. For several years after being diagnosed, I refused to attend any support groups. In the summer of last year, Ingrid encouraged me to apply to attend the Clinical Research Learning Institute sponsored by the Parkinson's Disease Foundation. The institute was held in October of last year. For the first time since being diagnosed with PD, I spent 3 days with other people with Parkinson's. We learned about the disease and about research which was being done to help those with PD. We also were encouraged to help people become aware of Parkinson's disease. I came back from this institute enthused about spreading the message. That is why I am speaking about Parkinson's disease this morning. There is no doubt that PD has affected my life. There is also no doubt that there is much that I can do to lessen the effect that it has on me. In order to take advantage of those things which can help me, I had to begin to become educated. I learned that I was not alone in the feelings that I had about Parkinson's. There were and are still times that my hand will shake or that I trip. I tend to talk softly and slowly, but now I am less embarrassed about my symptoms. I have also learned that exercise and stretching will have a positive effect in controlling the symptoms. It is also important that I remain in today, doing what I can to help myself and not worrying about what might happen in the future. Although PD can take a tremendous toll, medical science is making progress in the control of the symptoms and getting closer to actually treating the disease. I have several goals in speaking about Parkinson's today. One of these goals is to reach out to other people with PD, especially those who feel alone and want nothing to do with a support group. I finally learned that sharing with others about Parkinson's disease helps put the condition in perspective. We can talk about our feelings, ways of coping with PD, and the things that we can do to help ourselves. A second goal is to reach the significant others of those with PD. Family and friends are also affected by PD. It is difficult to watch someone you care about begin to slow down, and it is frustrating to be unable to do much about it. It takes time and patience to adjust to conversing with someone who talks very softly and slowly. There are support groups for family and friends of people with PD. A third goal is to reach those people who do not fit into the above categories. I would like to offer some suggestions based on my own experience. When you meet a person with PD, please do not overreact. By that I mean, do not repeatedly tell the person with PD how sorry you are. I am sometimes reluctant to tell someone that I have PD because of this. Parkinson's poses some new challenges, but I do not feel sorry for myself, and neither should you. Instead, ask me, how is it going? Or how are you doing? Or is there anything I can do to help? Also, do not relate stories about someone who died from PD. I do not need to know how bad the disease may get. Today I am fairly functional. When I was diagnosed with PD, I experienced the normal fear and anger. I cried and felt lost. It took a period of time to adjust to the news. Now, I prefer to concentrate on what I can do rather than what I cannot do. I appreciate support, not pity. Although PD has affected how I live, I have many blessings for which I am grateful. I live one day at a time. Those of us who have PD are often embarrassed by the symptoms. Many retreat and become reclusive because of this shame. The result is that they feel isolated and alone. Our hope is to reach out to these people. The goal is to have people with Parkinson's, their significant others, and those who are involved in the treatment, care, and support of people with Parkinson's work and share together. Together we can make a difference in the challenges posed by Parkinson's disease.